Good day, my friend. Good day, my friend. Welcome back to the On to Purpose Over Paycheck podcast. I am your host, Troy. Welcome, my friend. Welcome back. Yes, getting ourselves through the week. Absolutely amazing. It's been a great week. Shared a lot of information this week about where we're at. And hopefully you're taking away some nuggets of knowledge from this podcast and helping yourself to really move into the space that you want. All right. So today's episode is how to move toward what you want without losing yourself. So this episode is going to be really talking about integration point for the entire week of what we talked about. I've given you some strategies on how to reflect on those moments when things are happening. So hopefully you put those into practice this week. Because wanting more is not the problem. Building more is not the problem. Ambition is not the problem. The problem is when the pursuit costs you your nervous system. Because when you arrive somewhere, but you're not yourself anymore, right? Exactly. So let's talk a little bit about the patterns of self-abandonment. Many people don't lose themselves all at once. What happens is they lose themselves gradually. They'll say yes when they really mean no. They'll override exhaustion. They'll silence their intuition. They'll tolerate the urgency, and they try to justify pressure. And because the goal feels important, they start to ignore the cost. Why do we think this is necessary? Take a moment and just think, because you probably have learned this somewhere. We have learned that if I don't push, I'm going to fall behind. If I don't say yes to this, I'm going to lose this opportunity. If I slow down, I'm going to miss my chance. Those are the things that we have learned, that have been instilled with us. But the truth is, friend, you can move fast without abandoning yourself. You can grow without having to override your body. And you can want deeply without this sense of panicking. So what is it really like losing yourself? What does this actually feel like? Because losing yourself doesn't always look dramatic. It looks like this: constant mental noise. There's that tightness in your chest, that shortened breath, reduced patience, snapping at people you love, and feeling disconnected from your own voice. And slowly, your identity shifts from regulated to a very reactive state. So I'm going to speak to you directly. If you're thinking, I've achieved things, but I don't feel like myself while doing it, you need to hear this. You don't need to choose between success and self. What you need to do is choose a different internal posture while pursuing success. So I'm going to share with you 3 anchors. Here are 3 anchors to move toward what you want without really losing yourself. Number 1, regulated pace. You need to move at a speed that your nervous system can tolerate. If you don't know what that is, you need to start working on your nervous system. You need to start aligning and calibrating your nervous system so that you can move at a pace that your nervous system can tolerate. Okay, number 2, cleaner boundaries. Please don't sacrifice your identity for excess. Okay? Please do not sacrifice your identity for excess. Don't do that. Have cleaner boundaries. And number 3, internal check-ins. You need to ask yourself daily this question. So write it down. Am I still me in this? So when you're looking at all the work that you're doing, the opportunities, the decision making, you need to ask yourself, stop and pause and ask, am I still me in this? You put these 3 anchors to practice, these will start to protect your signal. All right, so let's chat about the difference between collapse and containment. When you lose yourself, it's usually because you collapsed into the outcome. You become fused with it. Now, when you stay aligned, you contain the outcome. You pursue it, but it doesn't define you. You move toward it, but it doesn't control you. That difference changes everything. So let's get the real win. When we're doing this work, let's get the real win. The real win isn't getting what you want. The real win is becoming someone who can hold what they want without panic. That's a biggie. It's not about getting what you want. It's about being someone who can really hold what they want and not panic about it. Because that creates stability, that creates alignment, that creates sustainable power. This week, we really dived into understanding how our signal works. I've given you some methods, things to practice, things to consider. It's really up to you if you put those into practice, if you implement them throughout your day. Because the more you do it, the more you challenge yourself to take on those methods and integrate them into your daily life, you will start to notice a lot of shifting. You'll start to notice the shifting where your signal is no longer static and now is becoming more clear. Clear to really attracting what you want. And it's because now you are working with the nervous system to create that tolerance. You're creating that nervous system to hold the outcome without really losing yourself in the whole entire process. We've discussed throughout this entire podcast, in every episode we've talked about it, how we can go function from a panic mode, performance mode, being excited because we have the success, but when we reach it, what's next? We've talked all about that, and we talked really in depth about the identity shift. And then moving from the identity shift into that signal. Because being able to hold it, being open, being safe and secure, that will truly strengthen that signal that nothing outside of the external world could ever weaken it. When you allow the limited world, when you allow the external to weaken it, you are choosing to give up the strength. And we don't want that to happen. We do not want that to happen. Friend, you are allowed to want more. Let me say that again, and I really want you to just sit with it. You are allowed to want more. But you are not required to abandon yourself to get it. You are allowed. The permission is there. You have the permission, the allowance to want more, but do not abandon yourself for it. Because when you abandon yourself for it, you lose yourself. Here's your last chance. Because spots are filling up. I only have 10 more spots available for my masterclass one-day event this Sunday, February 22nd, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. It is my masterclass of Get What You Want Without Forcing It. I only have 10 more spots available. Because remember, I've limited it to 30. I only have 10 more spots available. Let me tell you what's going to happen in that masterclass. In that masterclass, we are going to do a deep dive into understanding our nervous system mechanics of force. We're going to talk about why urgency blocks our receiving. You're going to learn how to move forward toward your goals without your self-abandonment, and you're going to learn how to stabilize your identity while pursuing more. If you are ready to build, receive, and grow without losing yourself in this entire process, you need to register now for the masterclass. 10 spots are only open now. All right, all the details and registrations are available in my link tree. All you got to do is just click on that. You'll see the single button. You sign up right there. It has all the details. And always, if this podcast has been supporting you or you feel that it needs to support someone else, follow the show, leave a rating, write a quick review, and share this episode or this podcast out with someone who needs it. Because I'm going to tell you, your support helps more people learn that success doesn't require self-sacrifice, friend. Self-sacrifice. So, you don't have to force your way forward. You can move powerfully and stay fully yourself. Remember, you are allowed to have all that you want. But when you do that, don't lose yourself in it. All right, my friend. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I want to say thank you. I appreciate you. I honor you. I love you. I am truly grateful to have you listening and clicking that button, sharing it out, giving the rating, writing the review. I'm greatly appreciated for all of that stuff. It truly means the world to me. Because this isn't about me. This is about bringing messages to you. I help people who struggle paycheck to paycheck, but they want that financial freedom. I help people who want love in their life, but don't understand the worth and value that is inside of them. I help people who want that promotion, but don't feel they're worthy, or they live through the fear of pursuing that promotion. I help people just like you who are wanting more in their life, but second guess their ability, struggle in understanding the power in them to make all of this happen. That is you, my friend. And that's why I'm here. All right. As I always say, you don't manifest what you want. You manifest who you are. Talk to you soon.